This Iowa State team looks really good, but I think the most impressive thing is that we're seeing them win in a multitude of different ways. And that's what you really want to see out of teams that you're hoping can contend and get to the Final Four. Can we win in different ways? And can we win when everything is also not going our way? Iowa State takes the CyHawk hoops game tonight by beating Iowa 66-62. And before we get into stats, I just got to say this is a really impressive win by the Cyclones. You have to give them a ton of credit for their ability not only to bounce back from that double-digit deficit, but to withstand another run by Iowa late in the game to take that game and win by 4. And I'm sure at halftime, Otzelberger was probably in the locker room saying things that we could never repeat on this channel. Whatever it was, it worked. And they came out with a lot more intensity, a lot more aggression, and a lot more physicality. And specifically, we say it all the time on the channel. If you can make more free throws than your opponent shoots, you're going to win that game 9 times out of 10. And that's exactly what happened tonight. Iowa State goes 17 for 23 from the free throw line to Iowa's 3 of 5. It's a huge discrepancy in free throws. Could have been calls. I don't know. There's every fan is going to say, well, it's a hometown officiating. But at the end of the day, if you watch that game, there was a different aggressive and physicality, specifically in the second half by that Iowa State group. And like we said, Iowa State found themselves down, and then they flipped the game with a 22-4 run. This now brings Iowa State to 10-0 on the season with wins over St. John's, a rivalry win over Iowa, and then obviously their biggest game, the beatdown they gave Purdue in West Lafayette. This Iowa State team looks really good, but I think the most impressive thing is that we're seeing them win in a multitude of different ways. You've seen them blow out Purdue. You've seen them turn it into a second gear in the second half of that game. You've seen them tonight go down double digits, withstand that, and then go on a run themselves to take the game over and not look back. You saw a game with St. John's where they had the lead, lost it. Game gets into a back and forth match. They come away with that. And that's what you really want to see out of teams that you're hoping can contend and get to the Final Four. Can we win in different ways? And can we win when everything is also not going our way? And you've seen that out of Iowa State now, getting to that 10-0 mark with a multitude of different wins. Right now, they're projected 1 seed in the latest bracketology. And while tonight might not be huge in the eyes of the committee when you get to March and you're trying to vie for that number 1 overall seed or just a number 1 seed in general, the game does mean a lot to Iowa State fans, obviously, and welcoming Ben McCollum to this rivalry with a loss. They've got a couple more tune-up games before they enter Big 12 play, and I think the Big 12 this year is one of the more top-heavy conferences. It's really going to go 1 through 5 with teams like Arizona, Iowa State, BYU, Houston, Kansas, Texas Tech. Like those are going to be the initial teams of the conference, even though Texas Tech hasn't looked great at times. And realistically, those 1 through 5 spots in the Big 12 could all end up as 1, 2, and 3 seeds when we get to March. So it's going to be huge for them to hold pat and win those games. Their next ranked game, as it stands, is going to be January 13th at Kansas in Lawrence. And then after that, they do have a stretch in February where they have 5 out of 6 games where they go Kansas at home, Houston at home, at BYU, at Utah, Texas Tech at home, and then on the road in Tucson and Arizona. So you're going to see a lot of really tough games for them. The Big 12 is still one of the best conferences in the country, even though it might be a tad bit top heavy. Really impressive win tonight for Iowa State. You guys get in the comments. Let me know. Is there anything else you think this team is missing? And when do you think maybe their first loss comes? How far can they go with an undefeated streak when we look at those top 4 teams right now that haven't lost? Who is going to be the first team to drop? Arizona, Duke, Michigan, or Iowa State? Share, like the video, hit subscribe to enter your name in the portal, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.